Over the last several weeks, I guess we've had sort of some controversial, if not downright negative news about education. But today, I'm happy to announce what I think is a very positive idea as far as education, and that is our caucus's idea for early childhood education. And by that, we're talking about pre-K, pre-kindergarten proposals. And the benefits are here as laid out on this chart. I'll be glad to go into those in just as many detail as possible, but high-quality pre-K programs produce students who are more likely to graduate, they earn higher incomes, and they own a home, and are less likely to require remediation or commit crimes. In other words, they're better prepared to succeed when it comes time for joining the actual school, the everyday school. So this is our proposal. We know that in the past we've talked about pre-K, we've talked about the idea of perhaps having that, but we've never, as a state of Indiana, adopted a policy to actually implement pre-K education for the state of Indiana. So this is what our proposal is. It is to actually, in this coming session, talk about a way by which we can implement in our schools the idea of pre-K education. Now, what we are going to do specifically is to propose legislation that would allow local school corporations to develop their own programs in conjunction with the Department of Education. So we would be asking the Department of Ed to take the lead in formulating the actual standards that would be required for the implementation of these programs throughout the state of Indiana, but we would allow the local school corporations themselves to come up with their ideas on what type of quality pre-K education programs would work the best in their own locales. We are not asking them to do this on their own. We believe that as part of the public policy of the state of Indiana, that we should commit funds for this purpose. We're not also asking that these funds come from our existing education resources, but rather that we provide additional resources so that we can have meaningful pre-K programs throughout the state of Indiana. We also feel that now is the time for us to adopt as a policy for the state of Indiana that the mandatory school age should be 5. I was surprised to learn as we went into this whole process that really now it's 7 years of age. We think it's time to commit ourselves to a mandatory age of 5 years old, and we do this because we know that the benefits of early childhood education are there. We also know how important it is. Early childhood development is the key, and we have to take those youngsters. They are at an age where their minds are such that they're ready to learn, but we need to make sure that we're providing them with the programs and the resources so that they can learn. We've spent a lot of time here in the last several months bemoaning the fact that our grades are not where they should be, standards aren't where they should be. We think this is one common sense way to raise all of the opportunities for every child in the state of Indiana by implementing meaningful pre-K programs throughout the state of Indiana. The benefits, as I talked about, include the fact that those who have had the benefit of pre-K programs graduate, are more likely to graduate from high school. They earn a higher income, they own a home, and are less likely to require remediation or commit crimes. Now, we know that next session is a short session. It's not a budget session, so you may say, well, how can you fund it next year? Well, we're not necessarily saying we're going to have the whole kit and caboodle ready by the end of this next session, but we think the short session heading into is an ideal time to really start the conversation and to really formulate the policy and make the commitment. It may be we have to wait till 2015 to obviously commit the dollars to back this up. But we think that it's prudent to start in this coming short session the idea of saying, yes, as 40 other states have done, here we are, Indiana, one of 10 states without meaningful pre-K education programs. We spend a lot of time talking about why is Indiana sort of stuck at the bottom of the list or that list. Why do we have seems like stubbornly high unemployment? Why do we have some of the lowest per capita income in the nation? And we think this is a good way to start to implement that. Long term, no doubt, but at least an investment that will reap benefits for years and years to come.